So welcome everybody to the Career Spotlight. Today we are featuring golf pro Rhett Bokitch, and he's going to share his career journey with us. If you're a student tuning in, please fill in the survey for a chance to win a $50 gift certificate from the Regina District Industry Education Council website. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to share some of this information that I can give you. My name, as Troy mentioned, is Rhett Bokitch. I'm the head golf professional and general manager at Harbor Golf Club and Resort here in Elbow, Saskatchewan. Here at the golf course in particular, we are considered a semi-private golf club. That means we have a few members, but we also cater to thousands of other public golfers that come around from all over the province and Canada as well. So we've got about 140 members, and like I said, thousands of golfers that we see throughout the course of the year. So when we talk about becoming a golf professional, there's a couple of different ways to do it. I've been a professional for almost 20 years now, and when I did it, it looked a little bit differently. But now the process has been made a little bit easier to accommodate a few more members. And in this sense, what they've done basically is started with kind of a 3 or 4 step process. The first one, which has always been constant, is to pass the PAT, which is known as the Playing Ability Test. This is an actual round of golf, or 2 rounds of golf actually, where you need to shoot a specific score. And a lot of the times it seems like it's pretty straightforward, right? I mean, if you play golf, or if this is a path that you're looking for, you probably understand how to do it. What makes it difficult is that there's a little bit of pressure on you. And what we know as golfers is that once you've got a little bit of pressure, it makes it that much harder to do the things you need to do. So that playing ability test can be stressful at times. I know myself, I did it. It took me 3 times to do it. The first couple of times, I wasn't as ready as I thought I might have been to compete at a level that was, where there was other people and there was quite a bit on the line. That being said, I did pass on my 3rd time, and I actually did my playing ability test in Swift Current at the Chinook Golf Club, and that golf course obviously has great memories for me, as I was able to pass that playing ability test. And I actually had my dad with me while he was caddying for me, as you could have a caddy, and it was a special experience to have with him. But as we do it now, it's really just the 3-step process. You pass the playing ability test. There's generally some sections where you can go and do that at different golf courses in and around your area. You shoot that number. Once you do that, then you can apply for your membership. And then from there, it's really just paying your membership dues and begin your training. And your training, it involves, it's kind of a lifelong training, but right off the bat, there's a couple of things you need to do. It's just some courses. You pass these basic courses, which are, they're learning how to teach golf. So it's like an instructor beginner program. There's a program that's called Respect in Sports Authority. And then there's some career literacy and the history and benefits, or its history and background of the PGA of Canada. And once you've done those 4, you can basically start teaching golf. You can obviously you can work in a golf course, and you've already started that path to go. Now, the last option that I have there is to enroll on a post-secondary program as well, and that's what I did personally. I went to Lethbridge College, and at that time they had a professional golf management program. And I spent 3 years there and got basically a degree in, a diploma in business administration and specialization in professional golf management. And there are still some of those colleges around. There are fewer and far between now as the demand hasn't been there, and because of the training has changed as far as from the PGA of Canada. So there's a couple of different ways that you can do it, but those are how you get started for the most part. So, you know, the duties for the most part as a golf professional is to maintain a duty or responsibility to grow the game of golf. Golf is, you know, is one of those sports and activities that is primarily done outside. Nowadays, it's getting easier and easier to play inside when the weather isn't as great. But the goal there is really to get more people to enjoy the game and to get them learning the game. And that's done basically with, you know, a lot of word of mouth, a lot of customer service, but really what we do in our lives as teachers. And like I said, in the next one, it's just really engaging with the golf public and being an ambassador for the game wherever you go, whether you're playing, whether you're, you know, there's always somebody who's got a story about golf. And once you talk about being in the golf industry, it opens up a lot of avenues. So my role as a head professional, I generally do a lot of the hiring. I do all of the hiring in the golf operations. I do some training with some support and build programs, policies, and procedures to train and support golf operations staff. Managing the tee sheet is really important as far as being able to understand how to best maximize the satisfaction of both the members and the green fee players. And then kind of on the side is offering lessons. I love to teach. I love to grow the game and find ways for people to just kind of engage with the game for the most part. And so offering lesson types to beginners, intermediates, group lessons to men or women or seniors, junior lessons, all that stuff is very, very important to the general duties of a golf professional. And then lastly, where it says, you know, we got to order and manage the inventory. That would be just like in any business where you're trying to create some extra revenue. You still have to pay close attention to that and make sure you can be on top of the trends and fads that are coming along. As my duties as the general manager have evolved here at Harbor Golf Club, you know, we're looking at the bigger picture ultimately here at Harbor Golf Club. When I first got here, we created and executed on a strategic plan. Really an interesting exercise for all of us to do as far as where we're at, where we're going, and how to get there. Really, really fun to give everybody sort of a baseline, you know, work on our mission and value statements as far as what we want to provide and what we need to do to get there. And on top of that, obviously, some of the administration work. We do have an administration manager and work with her to create operating budgets and just kind of manage those things. And then really, I love to grow personally and professionally, and I love to see that in other people as well. So supporting our managers in whatever their professional or personal development needs to be is paramount for me. So, I mean, this kind of speaks for itself, right? I mean, when we're talking equipment and spaces, one of the things that I love is, you know, the ability to work outside, but also to be part of these spectacular you know, facilities. This is a drone shot that we had taken last year of the Harbor Golf Club. For those that have played might be able to figure that out. But again, you know, we are very, very fortunate to be right on the shores of Lake Diefenbaker. And though you don't always get this view from the golf course, you get it at bits and pieces. And this is one of the reasons that, you know, I believe I've had a lot of experiences, as you'll see in the next slide, but this is as good as any of them. And I think that picture illustrates that. So these are a couple of experiences that I like to share with everybody. These are 4 golf courses that I was privileged enough to work with and at. The 2 at the top, Stewart Creek and Silvertip, are both located in Canmore, Alberta. very, very much resort golf with a member aspect. And as the pictures illustrate, just some really, really spectacular scenes. You know, the Rocky Mountains are a pretty special spot. And I was fortunate enough to work at both of these golf courses and learn from some of the most incredible people as far as like how to engage, how to stay present, and enjoy that. A couple of other examples are the two at the bottom, both located in the interior in British Columbia. Tobiano was one of those experiences that I had just outside of Kamloops. On again, you know, we've got a lake right there. We've got some mountains. This golf course I joined with in 2007, and we were ranked the best new golf course in Canada. And there's a lot of prestige that goes around that, and that's specifically what we were trying to do. And in that aspect, it was an incredible experience. And from that, it just opened up an opportunity for me to move over to Talking Rock Golf Course, which is in the Shuswaps, not far from Kamloops. But again, as you can see, these are the things you get out there, you get outside some of the administration things that we talked about, and what you really have is these beautiful settings where you're in nature, and it's just really something that's special. And I've been fortunate enough to have those, and take whatever I've learned from there, and hopefully move them here into rural Saskatchewan. Some of these unknown duties, you know, the public speaking and media responsibilities, nothing that I thought would actually happen. But as I got into the industry more and more into roles that were a little bit more in the spotlight, I found that I found myself, you know, engaging with media. You know, this is the time of year where news outlets and magazines are looking to hear what your plans are, looking to reach out and get best practices and those sorts of things. So you know, public speaking for me was not always the easiest thing. But you know, I've realized that when you're committed to something, when you're engaged in something that is truly a passion of yours, it makes it a lot easier. Here in particular, some unknown duties that you might think, you know, we just recently built I just realized that there's a spelling mistake there now in projects, but that's all right. The RV park is something that we just built, which was a huge learning for me. Lots of back end stuff that I didn't necessarily know, and I was really fortunate to get the opportunity to learn how that works. And we're in the process of always building. I mean, we gotta keep moving forward, and there's some plans for us to potentially build a new clubhouse within a couple of years. You know, I would love to see a driving range built out here for both our members, and the ability to teach and offer more lessons, and then storage facilities. So it's something that, though the day-to-day operation is runs pretty smoothly, we always have to keep in mind that there's a path to better, bigger, and more. So I'm excited for those things. This is pretty easy for me. I mean, what's rewarding about this, you know, I talked about getting to work outside. I do spend a bit of time in my office, but you know, I take that opportunity to get outside and enjoy what we've got, especially being on the shores of the lake, Diefenbaker. It's easy to not get too far away from the clubhouse and see the beautiful things that we have. You know, meeting and exceeding the needs of members and guests. That's something that I found that I truly enjoy. Being able to, you know, this is, as I mentioned earlier, a sport and an activity where people are choosing to spend their money, and in that sense, I find you know, great reward in being able to meet people's needs and exceed them, hopefully with a really great experience. Something that I've realized more and more is how much I love working with people and trying to get the most out of them. So, you know, whether it's their professional development or their personal development. I've got a door open policy, or an open door policy, and I feel like I'm very aware of spending time and checking in with everybody, and that's for me, that fills me up quite a bit. And then lastly, teaching golf. For me, there's when it comes to golf in particular, there's nothing better than teaching a new student, and getting them really excited about the game, or finding something that they've taken away that's got them to stay excited about it. And so teaching golf is really, really rewarding for me. As with any job, there's always some challenges and some stressors. This is no different. Here, it's, managing all sorts of personalities. I love a good challenge. I tend to rise to the occasion, but I do know that we're working with different people at all the time, whether it's working with them as members or guests, or even just some of the staff. It's everybody's a little bit different, and managing that is, it's important to get everybody on the same page. Adapting to the needs and expectations of golfers is something that golf has struggled with in the past couple of years. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. 5-7 years ago, there was a lot of talk about how there was a decline in participation in golf and what golf could do around it. There was a lot of talk around the sport being elitist, being expensive. I realize now that as I have my own kids, all sports are expensive regardless. But it's about finding new ways to make it more accessible, make it more affordable, and just get people to change it up a little bit, and make it different and make it enjoyable for them. The biggest challenge with being an outdoor sport is obviously the weather. On a day like today, I know that we're in the middle, or the late stages of March, and there's not really a ton of golf being played in Saskatchewan, but we do have a little bit of rain right now, and that's a challenge for us around here. When we get rain, we get wind. But that being said, the other challenge around here is the fact that we're so close to Lake Diefenbaker, and specifically when it's great conditions for golf, when you think, warm, sunny, no wind, you think we would be really, really busy. But that's an opportunity for people who want to be out on the lake. They want to take that because they don't always get that. So, it's something that we work with. The lake brings a lot of people here, but it also pulls people away from the golf course in particular. So it's something that we're aware of, and we work around. So this could be something that everybody's very interested in, and it's hard to pinpoint where you get as far as salary and benefits. The golf industry can be tough at times. Like a lot, you definitely have to be committed to it, and it's got to be a passion of yours. You can start at a very base salary, especially if you're just getting in as an apprentice or an assistant. But depending on the type of operation you're working for, you can do really, really well. There are, financially anyway, right? There's a lot of ways that you can create revenues and create ways, bonuses, structures, and definitely around teaching lessons. If you're willing to put in that extra time and effort, there's going to be the opportunity to teach as much as you want, and create some income that way. And same thing with benefits. Benefits and pension are not primarily something that you get. I've been fortunate enough to get them in a couple of operations, but not always. Just because the industry is quite transient, you move around quite a bit. I've worked at a number of different golf courses, so the longevity of where you're staying is limited. So you don't really get that. But some of the benefits you get are, the ability to play golf almost anytime you want. There's generally not any restrictions around golfing as far as staff is concerned, or when they want to play. But there's always ways to work with, whatever your group is, whatever your ownership is, and find ways that you can create a little bit more for yourself. And a benefit, myself, though I am employed year round. My summers are very, very busy from, from basically the middle of May through till the middle of October, if not longer, depending on the season. But in the winters, it's pretty free and clear. And for myself, I know that I get to take some time and just reflect on the season and get prepared for the next one. And it's all about finding that balance in that, if you can. I talked a lot already about professional development. The PGA of Canada has done an incredible job as trying to implement some of that more and more as they see that that's benefit, and that's what some people are asking for. That's what they need to kind of continue in what they're doing. So there's nothing that's really forced outside of what is asked for in the membership program, is going from an apprentice to an assistant to an associate and head professional and more on. But there's always seminars, there's always workshops that you can take to just take yourself to that next level, whether they be provincially or nationally. And I think in the last couple of years where this has been an option where you can stay where you are and still get information from people, this idea of virtual meetings has opened that up to making it a lot more accessible. So yeah, lots of opportunities within the golf field. Golf courses, though they are seasonal, they're always looking for work. I always found that, one of my first jobs was at a golf course when I was about 12 years old. I never thought that golf would be a path for me. Ultimately, it wasn't until it kind of moved forward and saw some other people doing what they were doing that it kind of turned into that for me. But if you've got a willingness to move and adapt and work, there's always those opportunities, and really just finding the game or the sport as a passion, you'll always find work there. And like I said, the advancement from an apprentice to an assistant to an associate, head professional, director of golf, it's all about finding the right operation that suits you and suits your needs. And then hopefully you can create a need for yourself within that position, whether it be full-time teaching, developing staff, developing members, developing policies and procedures for those sorts of things. And then, there's the transition around what we see. I mean, there was, as it happens in life, there was a transition for me at one point, and I looked at potentially moving into a sales opportunity where there was a couple of product lines that you would buy from ultimately that needed some support, and I took those on, and really neat to see that aspect, that other side of the game. But again, you learn so much around the marketing and the advertising and how to build relationships within golf, that it can translate into a number of different fields and industries. So this is a tough one, the work-life balance. Personally, in my own life, I don't really know. This might be contrary to what some facilitators or instructors say, but I don't really feel like it's something that exists. I think like a work-life balance is something that you always have to work at if it's something that you want to achieve. But in this industry, it's very, very difficult. During the summer, this past summer in particular, I worked every single day. I didn't work 8 hours every day. I didn't work 12 hours every day. Some days it was, just a few hours here and there, just to be front and center. But, it's, at this level, being, the head professional, running the golf operation, managing the operation, I felt like that was important to be around as much as I could. And that's what you'll find in seasonal work, whatever it looks like, whether it's landscaping, construction, wherever you go, it's going to be hectic, when it's time to go. And then at other times it kind of levels off a little bit. Ultimately, what you want to do for yourself is figure out how to find your work-life balance within those busy times, but also within the slow times. yeah, and where it gets busy is, on weekends for us being a resort golf course. We've got a lot of traffic that comes out on the weekends to enjoy, the resort community here. And so that's where we're really, really busy. And then during the week, when we're trying to host events, whether they're member events or corporate events, those as well. And then we find space within those days to find a little bit of a time to break or get prepared for the next one. And just like I said there, it's it's very difficult to find a work-life balance in the golf industry. The passion is the thing that's going to require that sustainable career. And then, you figure it out. You, just like in any other job, you work a couple of years and you feel like you put a lot into it. And then it gets a little bit easier and easier. And, it's about being able to communicate what you need and what you want to the people that are around you, and surrounding yourself with really great people, so you don't feel like you need to be there all the time. Wow, that went quick. Thank you so much. That was a lot of fun. I hope that I was able to share a little bit about what it looks like from this point of view. If there's anything else, I think the one thing that I didn't touch on that I don't know very well, but is sort of the playing side, right? It's that ability to, if you are a golfer and you golf and you engage in tournaments, junior tournaments around here, there's always an opportunity to follow that path as well. Very, very challenging, as we know, like any professional sport, it's hard to get into it. But what I've noticed in the last 10 years for sure is that there are more and more young golfing players that are making the jump towards playing golf in the States, playing at colleges, and then trying to make that jump to the professional side. And it's, though I'm not versed in it very deeply, it can be very, very exciting. I know that I worked specifically with one man when I was at Talking Rock. His parents had a cabin, and I worked with him very briefly with some fundamental stuff, and I followed his path in his career. And he was a caddy for Adam Svensson, who Adam Svensson is on the PGA Tour. So it was interesting to follow that career. He's since tried his best to be a professional golfer. That's kind of the big difference. Professional golfer is somebody who is playing golf to make their money. Golf professional is myself. I run and manage organizations, and that's how I consider my career. But he went through that whole path, and he is now a teaching professional at a facility in the Lower Mainland, and is really enjoying that. And what he's doing that's incredible is working with a lot of young kids that are in that Lower Mainland that are looking to make that next step forward.
That would be definitely interesting to get like on that cusp and playing with those potentials.
Well, Troy, what we know around here is that good players are everywhere, right? But they it doesn't always translate into making it work. It's as difficult as any. Yeah, absolutely, right?
It's all between the ears.
100%.
Thank you, Rhett. That was awesome information. I do have a couple of questions for you. You alluded to the business management program in Lethbridge. Are you aware of any other golf programs in the country that are available for students to consider or to maybe look into that you're aware of, or are they more stateside, more through the US?
No, absolutely. There's actually a number of them in Canada. The one that I know the best, or actually I should say the two that I know the best, are at Humber College. That's a professional golf management. And then another one at Georgian College, which is the golf facilities operation management. I actually have a gentleman that works for us who is taking what they would consider a golf management program through I'm pretty sure he's taking it through, oh my goodness, the name is escaping me right now, but it's it's based out of Castlegar, which is in British Columbia, not far from Nelson. He's actually doing it online. So it's a program that a lot of these, like a lot of programs nowadays, are able to, you can access them through whatever. It's really just about what I would suggest is going to the PGA of Canada website, going to the, they got some great, or PGA of Canada website, going to the, how to become a member and going through there. And it's got a list of all that stuff as far as where you wanted to go to. And then you can see the courses and go from there.
Humber College is out of Ontario, is that correct?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
And Castlegar is BC. Where was the other one, Lethbridge? Where was the second one you talked about? Is that an Ontario college as well?
Yeah, Georgian College, I believe, is in Ontario. That's a golf facilities operation management, or a honors Bachelor of Business Administration. There's also another one in McMaster, which is a business of golf and resort management. And then Fanshawe College, which does a club management one as well.
Awesome, thank you for that. And just one last question, just looking at your, where you've been, and where do you aspire to go next? Really, I mean, the golf courses are amazing, the distance and the travel that you can go with this as a golf pro. Where do you see where's your next move? Or where do you aspire to get to?
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I don't, I grew up in Saskatchewan. I was born in Moose Jaw, raised in Regina. We summered in Kenosi Lake. That's where I first got a taste of it. But I always felt like the grass was always greener, so my goal was to move west. And eventually when I got west, it turned out that it wasn't all that it seemed to be, right? I always kind of thought about something bigger and better. I do have these aspirations. It was always, one step before the other. I've had all the roles, whether it's an assistant, associate, teaching professional, head professional. I like to say that I wear the general manager hat here. That was kind of the goal for me, was always to get to a general manager. I don't really have any aspirations to go anywhere. We love this community of Elbow. My wife and I and our small family have been here for 5 years now. What I love about it is the ability to influence change and make some adjustments around here. That's really what it is. I don't have any aspirations to go anywhere to change anything else, but I am always open to the fact that there could be a possibility or potential. I'm just right now, what I'm digging into is understanding how to be the best general manager that I can be, how to be there. I really want to build some policy and procedure. I've built it. I'm still in the process of making adjustments to it, that it can just be a turnkey operation. This is probably not going to be my forever. But if it is, that would be fine. And this is where it is. But I want to build something so that if something were to happen to me, or I were to walk away from this, the operation would still be able to run as profitable and as well as it has as I've been here, right? And in the hopes that it's appealing to the members, appealing to our guests, but also appealing to our ownership. And that's really all I'm trying to do. For me, it's all personal. It's all the growth that I look for is all personal and professional, and just trying to make whatever it is that I'm doing here as good as possible.
Thank you for sharing that. I think it's good for students to know that, yes, go out and try other things, but we welcome them back to the province too, just like what you said. So thank you.
Well, I was, and to be honest with you, I was gone. I was way gone. I was in the Lower Mainland. I was looking, I was a single guy. I was looking to, even get further west and head to Vancouver Island, where they generally play 365 days of the year. And I just reconnected with an old flame from Saskatchewan, and she wasn't going anywhere, and to follow her and her big dreams, I mean, I owe a lot of where I'm at to her. And you know, I would have never thought for a second that, you know, I was close to living downtown Vancouver, and within about 6 years I was in downtown Elbow, Saskatchewan. So it's a big switch, but you know what, you know, I've connected with the things that bring me joy, and that really allow me to be the person that I want to be, and I do them all right here, and this is plenty. I would suggest to anybody to have those experiences, do what you need to do, but you know, just being back here it's a special spot, and I really enjoy it.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Rhett. That was really informative. I'm sure any students who are interested in the golf industry will find it very valuable.
And I'm always here. I mean, if there's anybody that it does show some interest, or is thinking about the path, you know, I don't know it all, but I know how to find the information, and I would be more than willing to support anybody's development if they wanted it.